as my mom would say, Merry freaking Christmas, everybody. And as you've probably guessed by both my greeting and my outfit, which the hat keeps falling off, so please, forgive me if I have to fiddle with it throughout. Probably was not my best idea, but I digress. That is the topic of today's video. Not Christmas generally, but actually saying Merry Christmas. So, the last, I don't know, 15 years or so, it's been kind of gaining popularity to say holidays, and not just to say holidays, but to say all of the holidays, which I remember, I guess it's longer than 15 years because I remember being in high school-ish age, probably around 16, 17, and the big thing was Happy Chris Mahana Kwanzaa, and so this idea of just like amalgamizing all of the various holidays that take place around this time, which fine, there are other holidays that take place, sure, absolutely, but in the last 5 years specifically, it has become like apparently offensive to say Merry Christmas to people. Like, you say Merry Christmas and people are like, I'm not Christian, or I don't celebrate Christmas, or whatever. It's like, you know just say thank you and move on. And it kind of, again, really started around, I don't know, 2012-ish is when I really started to notice it. And that's because I was watching Arrow back when it was good, and when it first started. And one of the characters, who was a side character in the first series, but she got picked up as a regular in the first season, which was a brilliant move on their part, changed the whole tone of the show and for the better. Anyway, I digress. Arrow's a topic for another video. But Felicity Smoke, who is one of the primary characters in the show, when Oliver comes in to ask for her help, because she's an IT specialist, it's around Christmas time, and he says Merry Christmas, and she says I'm Jewish, and then he says Happy Hanukkah. And then it works because she's kind of that awkward, quirky character who would just come out and say that, as opposed to just saying thanks, you too, and moving on. And so it didn't bother me. What did bother me, however, is that it seems that it was genuinely just done as a joke. Like, I can totally see the writers being like, hey, what if we have Oliver say Merry Christmas? And Felicity's like, I'm Jewish. And because the reason I say that is because in 2012, when the first season aired, and that's when she said that. But in 2013, during the second season, and she's talking to Barry, who later becomes the Flash, around Christmas time, and he asks her, hey, what are you doing for Christmas? And she says, lighting up my menorah. No, she was not lighting up her menorah at Christmas, because Hanukkah was during Thanksgiving that year, like the week of Thanksgiving. And I know this because when I was going to school at the time for my MFA, and I was taking poetry classes, which I didn't want to take, but we weren't a big enough cohort for tracks. So in order to be able to get all of my credits in, I had to take poetry classes. It was a thing. I'm not worried. So my poetry professor was Jewish, or at least her husband was Jewish. Whatever the case, they celebrated Hanukkah in her home, and she was telling us that her husband was making a big deal about Hanukkah being over Thanksgiving that year, which is why I know for a fact that Felicity was not lighting up her menorah for Christmas. And so that genuinely bothered me when I saw that episode and she said that, and my first instinct was just, no. Did nobody on the writing crew check to see when Hanukkah was that year? Like, really? If it was true to her character that she was in fact Jewish, and you could I suppose hand wave it by saying, well, Hanukkah typically falls around Christmas time, so she's just making a general joke about it. But I just anyway, getting off topic. So, saying Merry Christmas. Yes, there are times when it's like, You can say, I'm Jewish. You could say, I would, whatever. But for the most part, it's just people being nice to people. Statistically speaking, most people in the US identify as some form of Christian. So you're not going to, step on a statistical landmine if you say Merry Christmas to people. More, if you go around saying Happy Hanukkah to people, they're going to, well, one, they're going to assume that you're Jewish, and and if you are, then great. But if you're not, that's weird. If you know that they're Jewish, that's again a different thing. But that's just statistically speaking, you're not going to run into as many Jews as you are going to run into, Christians. And again, make sure you know what Hanukkah is if that's the case. But it's just, and even people who don't celebrate the religious side of Christmas still celebrate the spirit of Christmas, like actual talking about Christmas, not just, a fun winter season. Now, historically speaking, Christmas is not Christmas. It's not Jesus Christ's birthday. The when Christianity was established as essentially the world religion and the church began to spread, they started adopting pagan holidays and converting them over into Christian holidays so that the pagans would still be able to enjoy their holidays, but they would also be celebrating Jesus Christ. So, which is, that's how we got Christmas, that's how we got Easter, that's how we got a lot of these Christian holidays. And which, when we get to Easter, I'm going to talk about why, there's bunnies and eggs on a holiday that supposedly celebrates Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, so historically it's not Jesus's birthday. And in fact, a lot of Christian biblical scholars agree that he was probably born around March or April because there are biblical clues that it was Passover. So not even anywhere close to his birthday. But it has become a worldwide celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, and not just that, but also, as it's spread and become a bit more secular, it's just a general season of good cheer and kindness to one another. And yet we've turned it into this, I don't know, almost a weapon against people. Like, you can't say Merry Christmas to people because you're assuming and you're being offensive, and the all of the signs are being taken down that say Merry Christmas, and instead it's Happy Holidays. And again, if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's totally fine. But I do. I believe in Jesus Christ. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. And I'm going to follow the full spirit of Christmas for what it is, which is the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. Whether, he was born in around that time or not, doesn't matter. I celebrate Jesus Christ. And in order to spread that the joy and love of Jesus Christ, I'm going to say Merry Christmas. And that, if that offends you, that's not my problem. It is not my responsibility to cater to your feelings. It's not. And I realize that's a radical thing to say in this day and age because for whatever reason, people feel that they have the right to police other people's feelings based on how they feel. But, if you not celebrating Christmas is not going to change the fact that I do. It's just not. And I'm not going to change the way that I greet people around Christmas time to Happy Holidays because I celebrate Christmas. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you that you have to. I'm not telling you that you're wrong if you don't. I'm not telling you that, I'm right because I do. That's not it. It's just being polite. It's just being nice. It's just sharing the spirit of the season. Merry Christmas is not meant to be offensive, whether you take offense to it or not. And if you take offense to it, that's not my problem. So I'm not going to stop saying Merry Christmas. If you are Christian and you do celebrate Christmas, it's okay to say Merry Christmas. And if you're not Christian and you don't celebrate Christmas in any sort of capacity, that's okay too. It's perfectly fine to just say you too and move on. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to call people out on it. You can just be nice back and return the sentiment. There's nothing wrong with that. So, in that spirit, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope that it is a wonderful holiday, that you enjoy the time that you have with your family, and that if you're in a place where it snows, I hope you get a white Christmas, because that's what I'm actually not allowed to pray for white Christmases anymore because apparently it always goes wrong. So I'm hoping for a white Christmas, but I will refrain from praying for one. But I wish you Merry Christmas, and I hope that you have a wonderful and joyous New Year. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, subscribe, and do all those things that you do when you enjoy a video. If you'd like to learn more about us at Moms for America or the Millennial Rant, you can visit our website at millennialrant.com or see us on our Instagram page at millennial_rant. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.